Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content, prize pick sports books when I have the time, but as always, I do post them in my Discord. I've been playing professional DFS for a few years now, and yeah, we're just going to go over the NBA slate for tomorrow, the 28th of October. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on Twitter right here. And then, as always, these videos do get posted on this Reddit. I shall have it linked down below where you can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. Pretty much anything you need, I will be in there up to lock, after lock if you need help with night slate. Sometimes I can't get to questions after lock, but most of the time I will do my best to be in there as well. Alright, so let's go over my lineup. I believe this was 2 days ago. So in the last video I showed you guys I binked. I won over $3,000 in the last video. I believe this was 2 days ago. I'm not entirely sure, but another cash. Tonight I am just getting owned. And it's really unfortunate because I had the launch codes before lock. I had the launch codes, so I can show you guys this. Where is someone in my Discord has this lineup, and my core tonight, and I got off it. It was SGA. I played SGA. Dennis Schroeder. I played Dennis Schroeder. Reicher. I played Reicher. And then I told everyone to get to at least one of Zubac Ayton, with Zubac being the better 1 point per dollar. Most people in Discord played Ayton, or sorry, Zubac over Ayton. I went Ayton just because he was unowned. I thought they were pretty similar. But mostly everyone on my Discord went Zubac. And then I did have Chet Holmgren as a core play. I told everyone in Discord he was the best play on the slate. But then once Reicher started, I swapped off him in the core. It was pretty straightforward. I actually faded Chet. I was a little bit worried of the back-to-back. But, we're going to have some phenomenal nights in Discord. Another just absolute core smash. I went Brandon Ingram. I wanted to get a little bit different in GPP tonight just with OKC. They kind of do funky things on back-to-backs. But yeah, I told everyone Chet was the best play on the slate. Obviously, I cored SGA. He was the best spend up on the slate. Wasn't even close for me. I was not fading SGA. He didn't play the fourth quarter yesterday, so I wasn't worried about like minute trolling with him. But like with Chet, a little bit. But we should have some really big nights in Discord once again here. NBA has just been phenomenal. And as far as sportsbook stuff, I'm getting owned today on sportsbooks. Just absolutely owned. But yesterday we had like a +2 unit day. I can show you guys. I recap everything. Yesterday plus 1.39 units on sportsbooks, over a unit on underdog. Positive day here, lost 2 units, 1 unit there, and then we've been on a tear before that. +3, plus 1.5, +3, +3. So NBA swings been a little bit brutal, but still up on the season on sportsbooks, prize picks, and all that stuff. But today's going to be bad. I'm dreading recapping today. If you guys go on my Twitter, I do a recap every night. Just wait until you see. I think I went 3-9 on props day. But yeah, let's go over the slate. All right. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Tyrese Halliburton. I really don't. As always, we'll go over the rotations together. Now, keep in mind, a lot of teams are on back-to-backs here. So we could see some potential rest candidates. I'll make updates on Reddit if we do ever get that news. But let's take a look at what the Pacers did for tonight. You saw Aaron Nesmith, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and Nembhard. Halliburton played close to 40. Pascal Siakam played 40 minutes. Miles Turner played close to 40 minutes. And then you saw Nembhard play 30, T.D. McConnell 20 off of the bench. It went into overtime as well up against the Sixers. So play like low to mid 30s minutes of starters. But with that being said, I don't know what's going on with Halliburton. I really don't. I believe the Sixers were doubling him most of the time. I didn't have the game on, but that's what someone told me. But I have no idea what's going on with him. He's 8.5K. It's Tyrese Halliburton. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think this small of a sample is just going to make him this bad. But like, he's priced all the way down here, right? Orlando, tough defensively, but like, I always have interest in Halliburton. This is like perfect buy low spot just because absolutely no one's going to play him. I wish it was a better matchup, but it's 8.5K Halliburton. We know he clears the ceiling. We know he's going to handle the ball a ton. I think the Sixers did a good job with him defensively tonight. So yeah, I always have interest. I'm always going to prefer him to a guy like Pascal Siakam, but Yeah, perfect buy low spot there on Halliburton. I don't mind it in GPPs. Miles Turner at 6.6K. Everyone is pretty. Orlando's one of the better defensive teams in the league, but she'll play low to mid 30s minutes. I think he's a fine contrarian center on the slate. I don't think he'll pick up too much ownership. Like you have Karl-Anthony Towns, I expect to get a ton of ownership. You have Sengun there. You have Victor Wembanyama. You have Jokic. So I think kind of Miles Turner will probably get a bit squeezed there. You have Jakob Poeltl. So I don't mind Miles Turner there. As far as anyone else goes on this team, Mathurin, I don't know if I can do it. I think there's just going to be so much better value that probably opens up a bit later. Neesmith at 4.3K, disgusting. What else? Isaiah Jackson should get the backup 5. There's really not much. I guess Neesmith at 4.3 is fine. But outside of that, Nemhard, I guess, is okay as well. Not going to be great point per minute, but she'll play decent minutes. I guess it's fine. If he comes in popular, it's like I obviously have no idea what ownership's going to be the night before, but if he comes in somewhat popular, like you can definitely make the argument to fade. I think there will or should be better value opening up later. Moving on to Orlando, fake good matchup here for Orlando. With that being said, there's a guy here I like quite a bit, even at this price point, at 5.4K. I like Jalen Suggs quite a bit. This game, foul trouble plus blowout. This game, foul trouble plus blowout. I think normally he's going to play around this 30-minute mark. Good defender. They need him out there. Can rack up steals. This year they said they wanted him to take a huge leap. Shot 17 times last game, 5.4K. Still think he's a bit too cheap. He's at home. If you guys are into that home-away splits, he plays a lot better at home. I don't really factor that in, but yeah, like me some Jalen Suggs quite a bit at that price point. Wendell Carter Jr. at 5.5K. Keep an eye on Jonathan Isaac, but he's been playing over 30 minutes. He never really played over 30 minutes before last year, or before this year, sorry. If he's going to continue to play that, it does make him a solid center play on this slate. And then I don't mind Paolo or Franz, not my favorite spend ups. I think Paolo will pick up some ownership tomorrow. And then what else here? Keep an eye on Isaac. They're playing Anthony Black a ton of minutes. I don't know if I can do it. He has been playing well off of the bench, though. And, yeah, I think that's going to do it for Orlando. Let's move on to Washington. I like Washington tomorrow. Two teams that play fast, two teams that don't play a ton of defense. Atlanta on a back-to-back. I like Washington quite a bit. I mean, I really like Kyle Kuzma. I really like Jordan Poole. I think Sarr is playable. I really like Koulibaly for value. I think Bob Carrington is playable for value. I really like this Washington team. If we take a look at what they did up against the Cavs, you saw Bub, Jordan Poole, Sarr, Kyle Kuzma, and just Koulibaly is going to play huge minutes no matter what. I think most of the time he'll play blowout as well. Bub should get some blowout run as well. And then Keyshawn George will get some blowout run. Jordan Poole, the main guys won't. But this game, I haven't looked at the spread. Hopefully it should stay competitive. But yeah, I really like Kyle Kuzma. I really like Jordan Poole in GPPs. If they're low owned, I'm going to fire at least one of those guys up. I think I prefer Poole to Kyle Kuzma. Jonas is overpriced. And then I really like Koulibaly for value. I think Bub's perfectly fine. Keyshawn George, I think, is even playable at 3.5K. Yeah, scary sight like in the Wizards tomorrow. And then I don't mind some Atlanta here. So keep an eye on DeAndre Hunter. If DeAndre Hunter is out, that's going to move. I don't know how to say his last name, but I court him tonight. It's going to move him into the starting lineup. Expect decent minutes. Not a terrible point per minute guy either. He would shoot up to one of the better value plays on the slate. Would really like him. And then if DeAndre Hunter plays, I think DeAndre Hunter's solid. Dyson Daniels, I kind of like a buy low spot here. He shot 3 of 11 from the field. I took his points prop. It was at 9.5, and he shoots 3-11 from the field. But she'll play big minutes. I would expect some shooting regression here. He can stuff the stat sheet. He's 5.6K. I still think it's a fine price point, so I don't mind buy low spot and Dyson Daniels. Think Okongwu Capella, they're going to split the center position. Both are fine. Jalen John, this guy's just been absolutely putrid. He can't shoot the ball. But normally he's a stat sheet sufferer. I would expect high 30s minutes, got into foul trouble tonight. Normally, I would expect, over a fantasy point per minute, like 1.2 fantasy point per minute. I think that's what he'll be around this season. It's like another buy low spot that I like quite a bit on this slate. And then Trae Young, I really like his spend up too. So this game definitely is really, really intriguing to me for GPPs. I think it'll definitely pick up some ownership as well. Moving on to Milwaukee and Boston. Back-to-back here. Keep an eye on news and stuff like that, but we can take a look on what the Bucks ended with tonight on minutes-wise. Gary Trent can't hit a damn shot, but Gary Trent 28 minutes, Dame 32, Brook Lopez 29, Giannis 33, Taurean Prince, big minutes. So I think Prince is playable. I faded tonight just because I don't ever like playing chalk Taurean Prince, but with the minutes he's playing, I think he's perfectly fine. Gary Trent at this price point, I think it's hard to get to. I would have liked him a little bit cheaper. Bobby Portis, same kind of thing. Same with Brook Lopez, not loving too much here. I think it's mainly just I think Giannis is one of the better spend-ups on the slate. That's about it for Milwaukee. Moving on to Boston, keep an eye on Sam Hauser news. Now, there were quotes saying that, against bad teams, they were going to let Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard cook. I don't know if they're going to do that up against the Bucks, so you should expect, Peyton Pritchard possibly to lose a little bit of minutes here. So just tread carefully with those two guys. If Hauser plays, he's fine. But, Jason Tatum's just been phenomenal. He's absolutely phenomenal. I think he's a great spend-up. No issue there. I think Brown's fine. I'd rather play Jason Tatum, though. And then, great spot for both the guards here. Derek White, Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is a really good play at 6.1K. She'll play big minutes. This game should hopefully stay competitive, even though Boston just on another level right now. Great matchup. Revenge narrative, if you're into that. Derek White's fine. Wish he was a little bit cheaper. I think I prefer Drew Holiday point per dollar, and then Al Horford. Should play high 20s minutes. Last game, a bit of an outlier. I don't think he recorded a single stat in the second half, but a fine play. Wish he was a little bit cheaper. Don't know if I get to much else here for Boston. Let's move on to Denver. Another team that's just hooey. They have no shooters. Just no shooters. But Braun going to play big minutes. Jamal, big minutes. Jokic, big minutes. Aaron Gordon, big minutes. Michael Porter Jr., big minutes. They need to win games, even though it's this early in the season. What are they, by the way? 0-2. Going up against Toronto, definitely some blowout risk here. Toronto's really, really bad. But if you think this game somehow stays competitive, I think Jokic looks just absolutely phenomenal tomorrow. By far my favorite spend-up on the slate. Him, Luka Doncic, by far my two favorite spend-ups on the slate. Apologies for that. I think, Luka versus him is close. I would say blowout risk in both games as well. But Jokic, if you think it stays close, looks absolutely phenomenal. And I think Jamal Murray at 7-1 looks pretty good as well. I mean, I thought they were going to kind of limit his minutes earlier on in the year. That doesn't seem to be the case. Now, if the game blows out, I think he could get he'll probably be the first one out. But I think Jamal is good. I also really like Michael Porter Jr. at 5.8K. I think he's a bit too cheap. So top three guys here look solid. And then I think Christian Braun's a good value at 4.7. He should continue to play big minutes, grab rebounds. Good shooter, so I don't mind that. And then Julian Strawther at 3.7K, I think is a fine value as well. This is just a headache. Quickly is doubtful. RJ Barrett is questionable. If RJ Barrett continues to be out, you'll get a starting lineup of Davion Mitchell, Grady Dick, Scotty Barnes, Jakob Poeltl, and Ochai Agbaji. With that being said, if we get that similar situation, Scotty, he's going to be a do-it-all guy. She'll play big minutes, starts at the point, should stuff the stat sheet. He's getting a ton of potential assists, good rebounder, hasn't had the ceiling game yet, but would still really like him at 9.1K. Jakob Poeltl, I really like. I know it's not the best spot going up against Jokic, but they have to play him as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Should play low to mid-30s minutes, great point per minute. I think he's a really good center play on the slate. I think Dick, Davion Mitchell are fine. Prefer Grady Dick to Davion Mitchell. I mean, look, Grady Dick's going to be the number 2 on offense at 5.3K, so I don't mind that. Prefer him to Davion. And then Ochai Agbaji, just give me Grady over him. Mogbo didn't play as much as everyone expected. I think that they're playing Jamison Battle. Is that his name? Jamison Battle. Just disgusting stuff. Let's move on to Detroit. It's not the best spot here for Detroit, but I mean, I think you have to have interest in Cade Cunningham with what he's doing so far this year and the minutes that he's playing. He's playing massive minutes. He's taking a leap forward this year. I think you definitely have to have some interest. I need to turn that off. I'll do that after this video. So don't mind Cade there up at the top. Probably not an optimal spend up, but still firmly in play. Jalen Duren at 6'9", fine. I think I like some other center plays on the slate, but some interest there. Jaden Ivey. He's another guy that's probably going to take a huge leap forward this year. Not the best spot going up against Miami, but playable. Same with Tobias Harris. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been starting. He is a playable value, and I think that's it. Beasley's getting some run off the bench. Let's run to Miami. Good spot here. I think Bam Adebayo, once again, probably stand out to me the most. I think Tyler Herro is fine. He'll probably pick up some ownership. He was chalky this slate. Might be popular once again tomorrow. I don't think so, though. Definitely prefer him to like a Terra Rozier, but like I think Butler, Bam are solid, but not really loving too much else here. I think Jovic is solid. He should play around 30 minutes. Another guy that can grab some rebounds. Shoot a couple balls from three. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. Definitely think you could do worse there. All right, tough matchup here. Going up against the Knicks. The Knicks could be without Josh Hart though. Looking at the price points, I think not much. Dean Wade, disgusting. Couldn't pay me to play him. I think Karis LeVert's priced right. Darius Garland's priced right. I think both the bigs are priced right. Evan Mobley being my favorite between the two. I always have interest in Donovan Mitchell, of course, but I think I'd rather play Cade Cunningham at a similar price point. So, yeah, not loving too much for Cleveland tomorrow. Let's move on to the next. So, if Josh Hart is out, I mean, you're just going to get huge minutes for the starters. So, like, if he's out, I mean, they're going to play 7 guys most likely. Like, they're going to play Payne off the bench. They're going to play Miles McBride. He's probable, I believe, and Jericho Sims. It's like 8, right? That's basically it, right? I don't really think they're going to play him. It's like starters are just going to be injected for huge minutes here. I mean, I know it's not a good matchup, but I still absolutely love Cat. Like, his rates at the 5 compared to the 4 are just so much better. So I still love Cat at 8.4K. I think Brunson's too cheap at 8.6K as well. So I think both the top 2 guys here look good, even not in a great matchup. Mikhail at 6.5 is priced right. Same with like Josh Hart. OG Anunoby I think is fine at 5.2K. It does seem a little bit too cheap. And then Miles McBride is a playable value. He got hurt last game, I believe. And then if like Josh Hart's out, you see a bit more minutes. Like Jericho Sims, he would be in play actually. Then you'll just see an even bigger minutes for the starters. Cat would have to play a ton of minutes. And then Miles McBride campaign would have to probably play a little bit more. All right, let's move on to Chicago. Going up against Memphis. I would assume overpriced. Can't get to Lonzo. He's still on kind of a limit. What else do we got here? Josh Giddey at 6.6 I think is okay, but give me like, rather pay up for like Zach LaVine. Still think LaVine's too cheap. Not like a standout play for me, but too cheap. And then Vooch, kind of like the spot for Vooch. I believe we'll see. Jaren Jackson Jr. looks in. John Morant is questionable, so we'll see. But I think Vooch does look good to me. Same with Zach LaVine. I think he's too cheap. Not standout plays for me, but too cheap. All right, moving on to Memphis. So if John Morant's out, Scottie Pippen Jr. becomes one of the best plays on the slate. I still think you can play him, even with John Morant in. We know the Grizzlies kind of going to limit their minutes. Like, he should play low 20s minutes regardless. Wish he was cheaper, but like, if John Morant comes out, he's just an absolute piss nuke. He would look phenomenal. And then if Jaw's out, then Bane looks great, even on a minutes limit. He was actually pacing for more minutes. He got into foul trouble here, got into foul trouble here plus blow up, got into foul trouble here. So I don't know if the field's going to recognize this, but he is basically the only starter that has been trending for like low to mid 30s minutes. So if John Morant's out, I love Bane. I think Jaren Jackson Jr. at 7.6 we'll have to keep an eye on. I believe he was on a limit here. Keep an eye on that, but he gets a bump. Eddie, no thank you. Marcus Smart would get a bump. And I think the main standout would be Scottie Pippen Jr., Desmond Bane for me. Moving on to Houston. Good spot here. I believe we saw these two teams play against each other. Yeah. Sengun got benched. I don't think that'll happen again. I think that's a bit of an outlier. I like that as a bounce back spot. I think Jabari Smith is intriguing at 6.4K. I think it's fine. He's gotten to foul trouble. Fred VanVleet, he's been horrible to start the year, but statue stuffer, no issue there. And then Jalen Green has had a monster game, 2 monster games back to back. He's a guy that's going to chuck him when he's out there, but a really, really low floor. I think 8.1K is probably priced right. And then Dylan Brooks, I actually don't mind for value as well. And I forgot to go over Moving on to the Spurs. So, Vassell out, Trey Jones out, so you're going to see a bit more Castle, and then you're going to see the starters play around 30 minutes. With that being said, I think Wemby's great. I think I'd rather play Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic. You're going to see more minutes for Keldon in play for large field GPPs for me. I think Chris Paul is fine. Should play around 30 minutes. Statute stuffer. Just not going to do a ton on this team. And then Jeremy Sochan. I think I'm going to keep riding the Jeremy Sochan train. I know he's 5.6K now, but he has been phenomenal. He's really taken a step up. Should play mid-30s minutes, so don't mind Sochan there. What else? Harrison Barnes, playable value. He'll probably be somewhat popular. He was popular last slate. Don't mind that. And then I like Champagny quite a bit for value. Mid-20s minutes, back-to-back games. Not the best point per minute, but 4.5K I still think is reasonable. I think Castle's firmly in play with Trey Jones out. I don't mind that for value too. I think that's fine. Last game of the night, Utah versus Dallas. This team, just shoot this team to the moon, man. Just shoot them to the moon. I bet John Collins unders. In the second half, they benched everyone. John Collins just absolutely crushes in garbage time. He was soaring under 2, but they were getting blown out pretty badly. If this game stays competitive, you should see around 30 minutes for the starters, maybe a little bit less for like Sexton, and a little bit more for like a Markkanen, and then Walker Kessler should play high 20s minutes to around 30 minutes. Good point per minute guy, 5.5. Always some interest, good shot blocker, so I don't mind that. I think it's a spot where he could feast. You guys always know I really like targeting Daniel Gafford, so I do like Walker Kessler to bounce back. Clarkson's fine. Hendricks is a playable value. Not too excited there. Same with I think Markkanen's okay. If I had to pick like any of these guards straight up, Keontae I think would be my favorite, and then I like Walker Kessler. I think Walker Kessler's probably my favorite play on Utah. Let's move on down to Dallas. Yeah, how do you fade Dallas tomorrow? Love Luka. I love Kyrie. I think they're two of the better plays on the slate. I absolutely love both. If you want to ride the hot hand with Clay, I think that's fine. I really like Derek Lively. I think Daniel Gafford's a good value. This whole team looks great to me. I really like the Dallas Mavericks tomorrow. I think they're all really great plays and a great spot going up against Utah. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up for the slate. Hopefully you guys had a great night. As always, I will have my Discord link down below, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.